Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's talk about it on Talk to Susan. Today, we have a wonderful guest by the name of Terrill Miller, and she is making a difference in society with her accounting and business skills. Let's welcome Terrill Miller. Hello, Terrill.
Hello, everyone.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. Good to be here.
Yes,
Excited.
my pleasure. It's my pleasure to have you on our show and definitely talking about some very interesting and exciting projects that you have going. So, do you want
Yes.
to tell the audience about what you're doing?
Well, outside of taxes, we're entering the new tax season 2022 this year.
Yep.
I started the second, so we've been up and running since then. But besides taxes, just in time for tax season, actually, I am part of a book collaboration with 11 other tax and accounting bookkeeping professionals. And
Nice.
so we are launching our book, and it's offering tax strategies for small businesses. So anyone that's in business, want to be in business, thinking about being in business, this book is definitely for you. We offer a lot of different subject matters. One, my topic is on creating and starting a retirement plan for yourself and your small business. Just because, a lot of people may not know that that's something they can do
Mm-hmm.
as a small business or even know how to do it.
Yep.
So that's what my topic is on. And so this will be launching on January 12th. And we will actually have a live summit to give a little bit of information about tax season and a little bit on the book starting
Wow.
Monday, November 9th. At 1 p.m. Central Time. So I'm really excited about that to be part of, be a co author of this book.
You mean January 9th?
January 9th. Yes. What did I say? Lord, I'm probably
November.
back. I'm
I was like,
probably
wait a
I'm
minute.
probably in last year. I was about to say I'm probably in last year, but yeah, November is way back there. But yes, January 9th. I will actually be the first
Cool.
author to be spotlighted on Monday. So
That's awesome.
feel free to join in and get some information on, how to lower that tax bill. We all want to know how to
Hmm.
do
Right.
that.
Right. Well, I know that you've gotten a few certifications um, for what
Well,
you do.
yeah.
Could you share a little bit?
Yes. Yes. This is my second year to be out on my own. So
Mm-hmm.
I am really big on education. Just I've done some everything. So I'm really big on education.
Yes.
Not only just for myself, but also for those who I service, who I provide a service for.
Mm-hmm.
So I have gone through and, of course, completed all of my education that's required as a tax professional and bookkeeper. So I decided to take it a little bit further and actually participate in the annual filing season program. And this is where we go through and go through different education and then also take an exam to say that we have completed the necessary hours and also the knowledge on the tax laws and things of that nature. And we can represent what limited representation our clients before certain levels of the IRS. So I have completed that and I will be completing hopefully before March my enrolled agent exam as well. So
Awesome. I was just about to ask you, you're mentioning an enrolled agent, right?
I'm looking to sit for that very soon. So just like I said, I like to provide education for myself and then,
Hmm.
me doing that allows me to better serve those who are looking to me to help them with their tax situation. They need to know that the person that they're going to know what they're talking about and know how to help them.
Hmm.
So that's my main reason for doing it.
So, what do you like about doing taxes?
Oh wow. I think I like the complexity of it.
Hmm.
I've never been like a math person in school. Like math was not my favorite subject. And you really don't do a whole lot of math with doing taxes. It's more of tax law, basically. But it
Hmm.
can get complex. And so just the complexity of the tax laws, because there's so many different scenarios where it can apply, but if or
Yeah.
and. So I just like the complexity of it and being able to break it down and understand it so that I can explain it. All of my
Mm,
tax clients, especially during COVID, I did it more virtually than I did anything else. But I brought
yeah.
them on chat or conference, video conference, so I can break down to them, explain to them why their tax return was what it was. So I
Right.
think I
Right.
like the complexity of it, just being able to
Hmm.
understand it because a whole lot of people don't understand taxes. So I don't know. I've always been a nerd, I think. Is what I used to be called as a nerd. So I guess that's one of the reasons.
Well, the first business tax return that I've put together was the 1065 for a general partnership. And this was in the 1990s. Back then, we didn't really have the software to help us.
Oh
It
wow,
was
yeah.
very complicated. And then 20 plus years later, I'm talking to an accountant, and she said, I would never touch a general partnership return. And I'm thinking, why not?
Why not? Yeah, yeah.
Well, it is
That's
complicated. Yeah.
it is complicated. And actually when you speak of that, I actually started preparing taxes on a
Hmm.
volunteer basis. I did it through the VITA program when I was at AmeriCorps Vista.
Nice.
And so we did some training under a retired tax professional who was very smart. Oh my God, he was so smart. But anyway, I started, doing my own and then helping family and friends. And so I actually took the form itself.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, I didn't like the software. I preferred to actually get the form itself, the tax form 1040, 1040 X or whatever. And I would do it on the form first, and then I would put it in the in the software. So that's actually how I learned how to do taxes versus going through the software. So I probably would have liked not doing the software originally, probably.
So do you do 1065s, or do you do a lot of the 1040s, or the individual tax returns?
I do a lot of 1040s,
Hmm.
and I do mainly, well, have been in the past, may have been those who are sole proprietors or those who have LLCs. And so last summer, I did dive into getting more of education on how to actually prepare the 1065s and 1120s and nonprofits for this year. So that's something else that I've added to do and to build a team to handle the individual tax returns so that I can concentrate more on the small business returns. Did we lose you? You're on mute, I believe. Can you hear me? I think you're on mute, Susan. I think you're back on mute again.
Oh, I, hi.
Technology, gotta love it.
Anything
Gotta
can
love
happen
it.
when we go live, right? Um,
Anything, yeah, technology, gotta love it. Gotta love it.
I was like, I'm back because I was off screen because I wanted you to have the spotlight. Um,
Oh.
I was asking about the 1040s. Do you do them for, like, well, you did say sole proprietors. Um, so do you do them for like LLCs that are pass throughs? Um, I mean, I know they can
I
get
haven't had
complicated.
any. Yeah, I haven't
Mhm.
had any that's gone over to S corp as of now because of you have to meet certain criteria before you
Yes.
can actually cross over.
Hmm.
So most of them are just regular single member LLC or sole proprietors. And so my goal was to actually build a team to kind of handle
Mm.
the individual tax preparers and those LLCs so I can concentrate more on the business returns, the partnerships and the 1120s and nonprofits.
Yes.
So
Yeah, those
yeah,
are important.
so yeah.
How
So
are
I
you
really
with
concentrate on
depreciation?
those. Oh my God. When I first, I think it was last summer, I took a course with oh my God, I can see his Merle is his name.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking depreciation. I'm looking like, what in the world is he
Uh-oh.
talking about? And so because of that, that piqued my interest. And I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out, because for the
Yeah.
simple fact that I felt like I didn't know and it was something I needed to know, I made sure I went and found out what that was. So,
It's
and I did go
important.
back and I went, because the IRS is a very awesome resource to have and
Mm-hmm.
to use. So I have somewhere, I have like stacks of where I printed off from the IRS website, because I read and I highlight. So I learned and figured out how to do depreciation, and I did Krista's course this
Mm-hmm.
summer as well for EA. And we did a
Okay.
lot of depreciation, and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know." Again, I'm a nerd because I got excited by.
Me
I
too.
was so excited to be doing depreciation and learning the macro system and all that.
Yep.
So it's just, I love it.
I know. I know we can get in trouble with if we get it wrong, with depreciation,
Yes,
because sometimes,
depreciation
oh,
has to be
that
done
can.
exactly.
Yep.
Yes, and that's what I did find out, is that on some
Mm-hmm.
other returns, if it's not done correctly, if it's not scheduled out correctly, if they take the whole depreciation versus
Mm-hmm.
taking it year by year, that can get very tricky very quickly.
Oh, I know. Well, I the most complicated one that I've seen was double. Somebody had doubled entered the depreciation, and that triggered
Double
an
dipping is
audit.
what they called it. Yeah,
Yeah, it was bad.
yeah.
It was like, oh, whoops, didn't catch that. Don't know how, but
Oh wow.
yeah, I've seen that. I'm not an accountant or a tax person. I'm more like a mentor, a
Okay.
business and financial mentor. But I see a lot of problems, that
Yeah.
people come through the door, and we just try to fix it. And well, we
Yeah,
do we do fix it.
you gotta know, and you have
Hmm.
to know how to apply that to every situation.
Yes.
Especially like this past few years where they had a lot of tax law changes.
Oh, I know.
So you had to know, exactly how to apply
Hmm.
depreciation and what
Yeah.
could it be applied to. And if you didn't, then yeah,
Hmm.
you got into some sticky situations for
Oh, I
sure.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's good that you're going to become an EA, because there's only a handful of EAs or enrolled agents in the United States, and that's like a really special designation. You
It
know,
is.
I feel like it's like one level or maybe two levels above the CPA, which is the certified. What do
Yeah.
you call
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, because a
The
lot of
accountant.
times, a lot of the CPAs, depending on their level of training,
Mm-hmm.
they don't exactly know how to do the depreciation the IRS
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
They know how to do it. They know how to tell you how to put it in your books and get it, to make it look nice. They can get that.
Yep.
They know how to, reach the numbers to you. Where a tax preparer may not be as good as a CPA, but as far as tax law, unless they've actually had tax law training, they don't know how to do that. And so a lot of times,
Yeah.
if a person don't know, then they don't know to actually seek a tax professional versus a
Mm-hmm.
CPA to help them with that return properly. That's where they can get us in some trouble quickly.
Oh, I'm
But
sure.
yeah,
I mean, it's just taxes are pretty important.
and they are monitored very well.
Yes, there's a big team
That's a
that
big
takes
team, and they've
care.
hired even more. They've hired even more. Yeah. So,
Yes.
but that, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I do the education
Mm-hmm.
is, so that I can help people that have those different those very special, specific
Yeah,
type of situations that I can help them with because I know how to do it. I've been trained to do it. So
that's
that's why
good.
I do it. Yeah.
So how busy are you now compared to, like, I don't know. It hasn't started yet,
Typically,
right?
no, not really. And this is actually my first year that I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually offering the cash advances because it's never something that I've always wanted to do because I've always tried to encourage my people to just wait. Don't be in a rush, don't be in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just
Yes.
wait. I know my very first year starting taxes, right at the hub testing, a lot of changes came down the
Oh, yeah.
pipeline.
Mm.
And that was so chaotic just in the first, second week of January. So I just tell people to wait. And so typically I don't really start until like 1st of February. But so this is
Mhm.
my first year actually participating in the cash advances because I've always told people just wait. Just I know you want it, but just wait, and I try to educate people that, I know tax season, peak season, we have that January through March,
Yep.
but taxes is all year round. We're
I know.
affected by taxes every day,
Every day.
365 days of the year. We just have peak
Mhm.
season. So let's just wait. Let's
You
just
know,
wait.
that reminds me. I know this question comes up a lot. Like, should people keep receipts?
Oh, wow. People should keep receipts for several different reasons. If you're going to
Mhm.
be an individual tax payer, and you're going to itemize, right?
Mhm.
There's
Yes.
not very many people, especially with the tax law changes where they increase their standard deduction every year. You got to have a whole lot of, receipts to
Oh
beat out
man.
the standard deduction to be able
Mhm.
to itemize. So, but
Right.
if you happen to be one of those people, I would say yes. There's different software, now that can help you with that because I do have some still that I'm trying to get over out of the bag and the box of receipts. But
Yes.
yes, to answer the question, especially if you're a business owner, you definitely, hopefully by now, you have some type of system, software, app, or something that kind of helps you keep up with those receipts and statements. So you want to keep everything.
Mhm.
Although, as a business owner, you know that we don't write off everything, despite of what you're told.
Exactly.
Everything does not have to be written off, but of
Mhm.
course, you do need receipts, especially like we spoke of earlier. If you're going to be doing any type of depreciation, you definitely want to have those receipts.
Yep.
But yes, keep receipts, always,
Well,
always.
just business related expenses, right? Not personal stuff.
No, not if you're doing a business. You definitely want to just make sure you keep up with the business
Mm. Okay.
expenses. Of course, depending, I don't know, a lot of people use different things as far as receiving payments, but you always want to be sure that you have a record of how to prove your income that you made in your business. And all types of, I have a file that I keep up and then I scan it for all
Mhm.
of my receipts. So at the end of tax season, I just pull that file. So that's just a way to have everything neatly in place and ready for tax season. So that would be my suggestion. Not the shoebox, please.
I've seen many forms.
Yes.
Not
Like I
just
said,
the
I
shoe
still
box.
have I still have a couple. Matter of fact, that no matter what I say, I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this, but just know it's a fee behind this. It's not for
Yes.
free. It's not included in your tax prep fee. This is
Oh
bookkeeping. So
yes.
this is extra. So
I
yeah.
know. That one bookkeeper I spoke with actually called it the golden box.
Yes.
It just keeps giving.
Yes.
It's terrible. But
It
the
is.
more organized you are, the better you'll be at tax time, right?
Yes. Yes. And I
Um,
think the more that you realize how less time that it
mhm.
takes when you're organized with your receipts and statements, it does help, getting that information to your CPA, bookkeeper, tax professional, whoever. It just makes it a whole lot smoother when you are better organized. Like I said, they even have apps now on your phone that you can just scan your receipts and it keeps it in a file for you. So there's ways, thankfully. Just got to
I
get
know.
people, everybody over to it. Even those that are, I say that are technology challenged, even the app that they have is simplified. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to think like what is most important to us as business owners when it comes to tax time. I mean, I often look for the financial statements like P&L, the profit and loss statements, and the balance sheets. Is Do you
Yes,
feel the same way, or you have
I
something?
do.
Yeah.
I do. And I try to, educate people on that aspect of, especially if you have a business, that it's good to have, like I said, even if they can't afford a bookkeeper, there
Mm-hmm.
are, ways that they can still keep up. Like I said, I mentioned the apps is to have that in place. And,
Yep.
if you can afford it, to get a bookkeeper on your team, CPA, even if had a virtual bookkeeper, which I am as well. But you can have a part-time, depending on the type of business and how busy you are, you can have a part-time bookkeeper, but
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that you have your books, maintenance throughout the year. That way, at the end of the year, all we have to do is go into our software and run those reports and
Mm-hmm.
have your P&L and your balance sheets to
Right.
be ready to have for your tax professional. So
Mhm.
bookkeeper is a way to go, definitely if you can afford it.
Yep. So, how do you screen a bookkeeper?
Me
Especially
myself, I
virtually.
actually because I was doing my bookkeeping myself.
Yes, me
Um,
too.
but
I
you
mean,
know,
we're busy enough, right?
as a business owner, right? As a business owner, you don't want to look at your own stuff. I figured that out
Hmm.
like the
It's
first
too
year.
hard.
It's like I'm a bookkeeper, but I don't want to do my own bookkeeping. I'm like, I don't want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do my own. But so actually what I did, I actually have a virtual bookkeeper
Mm-hmm.
myself for my business, because just like I guess I say I preach to other business owners um, is that you want to make sure that you have someone that can take care of your books for you so you can run
Mm-hmm.
your business.
Exactly.
So, and it's the same thing, I could take the time to do my own bookkeeping. I know how to do it, but why do I want to waste time doing my bookkeeping if I can hire somebody else to do it and I can run my business? So that's what I try to teach other business owners is that, you can do it if you want to do it, but that's time that you could be putting into your own business, as far as how to get your business grow, how to bring
Mm-hmm.
in revenue. If you have a bookkeeper that's keeping up with what you have going on, meet with that bookkeeper, however time frame that you guys set up, that way you can kind of examine, okay, what's going on in my business,
Mm-hmm.
how profitable am I, what can I change, what can I do differently. If you have a bookkeeper in place, you can concentrate on those things and let the bookkeeper handle everything else.
Oh,
So
I
I
know.
have a virtual bookkeeper that she's
That's good.
awesome. I love her. She stays on me like I stay on my clients. I'm like, am I like this? But I love her for that. And she's been with me for 2 years. So I
That's good.
wouldn't change anything. Yeah,
That's important.
it
Um,
is.
it's it gets extremely important as your business grows because you'll be acquiring assets and you'll
Yes.
more customers, different um, I would say different areas of businesses, right? Like different
Yeah.
industries. So you,
Yes.
as the accountant or the CPA or the EA, your knowledge is where it's valuable, right? But if you spend all your time doing bookkeeping and not really serving your clients, you're not really serving clients.
Not serving clients because you're too busy
Yeah,
trying to do your bookkeeping.
exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing bookkeeping. It's just that's not
Mhm.
your thing, right? It's not.
It's
That's
not,
not the.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not your
Yeah, that's not your
business.
goal of your business is for
Yeah,
you to do your bookkeeping. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
You're
Yeah.
there to run a business, to be
Hmm.
a profitable business. So you're
Yeah.
not in business to sit down and do your bookkeeping to keep up with
Yeah.
all of that. So that's why you
Right.
hire me.
Exactly. And accounting is the business language. So everyone who's a business owner
Yeah.
should know accounting. At least know what a
Yes. It
ledger
needs to
is,
know what's
credit,
going
debit.
on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
What is a
I
profit and
bring
loss?
in
Hmm.
Right. When I bring in my clients, I make sure we go through that. Like I said, I'm big on education, and I
Hmm.
let them know that when you come and work with me, or when you come on as a client, whether tax or bookkeeping, we work together.
Yes.
I educate you because I want you to know, although I'm handling it, I want you to know what's going on. And I want you to know if I
Mhm.
say to you, I need whatever from you, I want you to know exactly what I'm talking about and why I need it. Whether
Right.
you're not doing it, but you know why I need what I'm asking you
Hmm.
for. So the first month or so, I'll say first 2 months, it's they're working with me and I'm educating them on what
Hmm.
this looks like and what it's going to look like the more that we
Right.
work together. So, they'll know the language, but they're not dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Yeah, it could get complicated too.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Especially when you have all kinds of accounts, vendors and
Yes.
inventory,
Vendors,
cost of goods, chart of
yes.
accounts. The chart of
Assets,
accounts can be a mess.
liabilities. Yes, yes,
Short-term
yes,
liability, current liability. What else we have?
yes. And
Promissory
don't
notes.
let them be on a occurred accounting or fiscal
Yep.
year. That's, oh my
Cash or
God.
accrual. Oh yes, that can
Yes.
complicate things too. Yep. And
Yeah.
how your election is with the IRS.
With
Um,
IRS, yes,
mhm.
because you have certain implications
Yes.
for tax filing. You have things, obligations that you have to
Hmm.
meet. So I tell people, know your business, know your numbers. I always
Exactly.
tell people that know your business, know your numbers, know your make sure that your business is formed correctly for what you're doing and for
Hmm.
your income that you're making, and to know what your tax implications are. Again, that's why you want a tax professional that knows those things, because that definitely helps.
It's not like one
Yeah.
size fits all.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly the words I used yesterday. Matter of fact, I was like,
How fun.
taxes, tax season, tax situations is not just a one for all. Everybody does not have the same
Yep.
tax situation. So you have to be able to have someone that knows, that has the information and the knowledge to know how to help you with your particular
Hmm.
situation, because somebody else's is not going to be exactly the way yours is.
Right.
So, yeah.
I know. For example, if your primary clients are service providers, and somebody's a retailer coming in, it's like, well, if you know it, if you know the retail side of things, yes, of course you could properly serve the client. But if you didn't, and you'll have to create a whole set of chart of
Oh, no.
accounts for cost of goods, inventory, and SKUs.
Inventories, those that they had on sale.
Yes. Oh,
There's
I
a
know.
whole lot, things that you have to account for, things that
Hmm.
may went over expiration. I mean, there's a lot.
A lot more. I
There's a
know.
lot.
So then I guess that leads me to my next question is, what do you want to specialize in? There's so many types of businesses.
There's so many, and I remember I had this discussion maybe about a month or so ago, and I was like, well,
Hmm.
I first said I wanted to do small business owners, and then I was like, okay, that's a whole lot of people.
Lot.
Then I was like, okay, let's do service. And I'm like, okay, that's still a whole lot of people. All right, so what type of service do you want to do? And so as of right now, I'm still keeping those that I have, so that won't change.
Hmm.
Um, but my main focus, or I'll say my passion is nonprofits. Is
Hmm.
nonprofits. And then as far as service clients, it's going to be those that are in the salon business, barbershops, things of that nature.
Wow.
And then I actually have a training that I will do after Monday for the
Hmm.
trucking industry.
Nice.
Um, but my passion is definitely nonprofit,
Hmm.
because there's so many nonprofits that don't have their bookkeeping and don't have their taxes in order.
Oh, I
And
know. And
so
that's
they can
important
lose
too.
their, yes, they have to stay
Yes.
in compliance. And so when they don't, they lose their 501(c) status.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so they need to know what they need to do in order to keep that. So that's my
Oh, I know.
passion.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mhm. I have my own
Yeah.
nonprofit,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's a different
Awesome.
animal from a profit business.
It is.
It's more formalized. I mean, as a corporation, you have to be formal anyway. But
Right.
nonprofit, because we're relying on the public monies
Right.
and public support, there's an
Right.
extra layer of
Yeah. Extra steps.
precaution.
Extra steps.
I know, right? Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And I know you were looking for salons a while ago. I can't believe we've
Yeah.
known each other for a few years now, and
It
I've seen your
has.
progress. So it's exciting. Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's been over a year.
it's been more than
Yeah.
more than a
It's
year.
been more than a year. Yes.
Hmm.
Awesome. Yeah. So we
Yeah,
finally got a chance to do this. We talked about this on our initial meeting,
I think two
each
years ago.
other. Yeah.
Well, this will be the third year.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited that
Yep.
I'm excited for you.
Thank
And I'm
you.
excited to be a part of it. It's awesome. It's awesome to see other people in business. I love to support other people. I love it. I love it. I love
Same
it.
here.
Just because I know what it means as a
Hmm.
business owner to have that support that sometimes you don't
Yes.
always get.
No, we don't get
And then
that a lot.
also, right, we don't. And then it's good to, if you support other people, businesses, that kind of helps other people
Hmm.
to see, oh, that person's in business and they have a service that I may need.
Yeah.
So, that's just how I view it.
I mean, there's plenty of business to go around,
Yeah,
and
there is.
what I found that it's hard enough to be in business, right?
It
Even
is.
harder to stay in business, and then you have clients and different people that they have different objections or objectives,
Yes,
and it can
yes,
be
yes.
challenging at times. A lot of, I guess, also a lot of distraction can take place, you know,
It can.
because I know this for firsthand. Like when I first worked at completely on my own, and I was selling real estate. I don't do that anymore, but I was just like, let me try that. I'll just do this from home, and oh my gosh, I was getting phone calls the whole day, just trying to sell me stuff. You know,
Yeah,
so but I would imagine that's with any business, not just selling real estate. And we're solicited every day for various
every day.
things, and unless we know
Yes.
who the person that we're doing business with, it's really hard to make a decision right away. And that's sort of the reason why we have these interviews with local business owners. I say local, it could be my community or your community, right?
Yeah.
So whichever community that you are in, you're in Arkansas and I'm in California. So wherever we happen to be, and the show happens to reach the person that needs your service, you know, then that person will have a better idea of who you are before even picking up the phone.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I mean, because we're sort of global, but then local at the same time,
At the
because
same time. Yeah.
the internet, right? We're
Yes.
thousands of
Yes.
miles away, and we could still
And
to
connect.
communicate.
Yes. Yes.
I'm dealing with people in Australia too, so
Oh,
there's
wow.
really like no, there's really, I mean, I guess the only border is like time, right? Time and the
It
day
is.
difference.
Yeah. It's making sure you connect at the same time because we're in different time zones.
Yeah.
You're probably one of the four people that I'm connected with in the state of California.
Wow.
I
I feel
have,
so
yeah.
special. Thank you.
And it's like I'm connected with all these people that I work very closely with, that
Yeah.
that I talk to on a very regular basis. Matter of fact, I'm
Hmm.
in partnership in tax business and bookkeeping, and she's in California. We've never even been in the same room, but we communicate and we
Hmm.
partnership and we support each other. So it's just awesome. Social media does help.
It
It does
does.
help. It does. It serves its purpose. The
Yes.
different platforms that we're on,
Hmm.
to be able to connect to other business owners and, like you said, clients, because I serve in all 50 states. So
I'm so excited that you mentioned nonprofit, because that's a real, it's a specialty, you know.
it is.
Um, I mean, you have to have a really higher level of knowledge to be able to do all of that,
Yeah,
because you're not
it's
just dealing with the regular tax laws, but you're dealing with nonprofit tax exemptions,
nonprofit tax.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those exemptions and their reporting that
Hmm.
they have to have, and make sure that they meet their compliance and meet their
Yeah.
deadlines and things of that nature. So it's a different avenue for sure. It's a
Yeah.
different, I want to call it beast because I like it. So I guess if I would call it beast, it would be something that I didn't like. But it's definitely it's bigger than just filing a tax return. It's definitely different.
Yeah. It is a lot more. I mean,
Yeah.
they would have to take care of their donation acknowledgement letters, right? And
Yes,
then,
make sure they
and of
have
course,
the
with those
donor
letters,
information.
yes, and those letters are very specific in terms of like what is required. I mean,
Yes.
anybody could say, "Oh, I'll just do a search and find it." No, that's not how it works.
No, that's not how it
You
works.
could, but you might not be doing it right.
You won't, yeah, you won't get that. Yeah, it won't be right. It has
Mm-hmm.
to be done at the time from the person.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what it is, you have that letter has to say specifically
Yeah.
who gave it, who they gave it to, what it was worth. Was there anything received in return for it? I mean, it's a lot of
Yep.
things that people don't really know that goes
Mm-hmm.
into it. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And of course, not filing the 990s. That can mean, hey,
Hey,
you know what that
yeah.
means, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have a whole lot of penalties, and then if you don't file 3 years, then you get
Mm.
your exemption taken away from you.
Oh, there's
So
the
you have to
automatic
reapply.
revocation. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I've
you have
had
to
to fix a
reapply
few
again.
people's problems, and that takes
Really?
a lot of time. It does take a lot
Yeah,
of time.
it
Hmm.
does. It
It's better to
does.
do it right the
It's a
first time.
lot. It is. I mean, because it's a lot of work to even get it started. First of all,
Of
to get
course.
established,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
lot of work. So
Yeah.
it's better to go ahead and keep it done and keep it up to date, in
Hmm.
order as you go through than having to go back and start over again. So
Yes.
definitely.
Hey, I was just looking at the time. It's like we're running out of time today. But I
Oh
wanted to
wow.
talk. I want it's so fast. I wanted to show everyone your book launch and your summit
Okay.
that you have coming
Also,
up. So the
yes, I'm
9th to
excited.
the 14th, that's just in a couple of days. And you're the
Yes,
first
it's
one
also
in the lineup.
I am. It starts on Monday.
Hmm.
We will be discussing our book that myself and 11 other co authors,
Wow.
we all give our information or insight on different tax strategies,
Hmm.
compliance measures, things of that nature that can help you as a small business to, we all want to try to lower our tax bill. And so we discuss different strategies and measures, compliance, maintenance, things of that nature for profit and nonprofit businesses. So that book will launch on the 12th. And so we will be given a little bit of information on the book and, of course, more tax topics and information throughout the week as well. So I'm
And
excited.
so they can find that information on your website, right?
That information, actually, you can find it on my Facebook page.
Oh.
Um, it will be my name, Terrill Miller,
Hmm.
Terrill M. Miller, I guess you can say. It is on my Facebook page as well, and it should be on the other flyer, the summit email. I mean, the summit.
This one?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, this
yes.
one.
So the summit, www.taxstrategiesforSmallBusinesses.com.
Mhm.
If you go to that link, you can actually register to be a part of the summit for any or all of those
That's pretty
days.
exciting. Yeah.
It is. I'm excited.
And people should get
I'm
ahead of
excited.
the deadline. Yeah. People should get ahead of the deadline, right?
Yes, get ahead of the deadline. I've gotten a lot of messages that, oh, I registered. I registered. I got a message today. Hey, do you have your book? I will, the week is, I'm like, okay, it hasn't launched yet. Give me time, but I promise you I will get it to you.
Yeah.
But we're getting everything together. After that, we will have our websites up. It will also be posted on all of my social media platforms. I am on Facebook, Instagram,
Hmm.
LinkedIn, and just joined TikTok.
That's
So
amazing.
once the website is live to purchase, we will definitely posting that information so everyone can go on and purchase the book as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's pretty exciting.
it is. It
You have all
is.
these
I'm
things
excited.
going.
I
And
have a lot.
you've only been
Yeah.
in business for 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a really big
I've
accomplishment.
I've been on my own for 2 years. I've worked with another company, and I just wanted to I just wanted to learn. I just felt, if I wanted to learn this and actually know, and I felt like to better serve those that I was calling my clients, to just step out on faith, right? Trust that, I could do this and do it. And so I did. And so, like I said, all of the things that I'm doing, including this book, is for those that I serve. It's for my clients to give them
Mhm.
information, to give them insight, and to give them education. And
Yeah.
of course, to let them know that, if you need help with your tax situation, I can help you. I can get the information that we need for sure.
Yes. And once you find someone good, it's like don't let that person go, right?
Yeah, I have some that says they're not going anywhere. And it's just because, again, I provided her the education that she
Mhm.
never received. And she was like, I never knew anything about that. And I was like, yeah, she didn't know that she had a small business, that, she had she was working two jobs. One was a W-2, one was
Mhm.
a 1099, and then she had an LLC. And so she
Wow.
was never told about the deductions and the credits and things that she qualified for her business that she had. And just because of that, when she first came to
Mhm.
me, she said that was her first time ever receiving a refund, because
Wow.
nobody ever told her the things that I told her. So
Isn't
she's
that
not going
crazy?
anywhere. She's not going anywhere
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah. I mean, one of the ways to create wealth is through a small business,
It is.
right?
And
Mhm.
people don't understand that that's the way the government intended.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's why they give us so many credits as a
Yes.
business owner, is so that
Mhm.
we can create a business and create income and then create wealth and then create jobs, for the environment, for the, economy, and things of that nature. So it's very beneficial on a lot of areas, to actually own a
Yes.
business if possible. If that's your
Absolutely.
sole desire, everybody don't want to be in business, but
Oh, I
you know,
know.
if you do, then it's not always easy. I think you and I were discussing that before we came on camera. It's not always easy, but I
Mhm.
can look at it and say that it's worth it. Especially if you have a passion for it, it's definitely worth it, to do it. Especially if you love what you do. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I mean, some people don't like their jobs, right? But they're
yeah.
stuck,
I,
and
yeah.
I mean, your employer started out somewhere, right? As a small
Yeah.
business,
Small
right?
business. Yeah,
Hmm.
started
So,
somewhere.
and when you're helping a small business, also helping the local economy,
Right.
and that helps a lot too. It
It
helps
does.
everybody.
It helps everybody, because, as you said, the big businesses now, they started out as a small business. And so each time that you help a small business, you're helping that
Hmm.
person, you know actually achieve, their dream and work towards their accomplish to build it, and actually to become a big business one day as well. So it's
Exactly.
very important. Yeah, very important.
I'm going to show your summit information again so people can
Okay.
could go and register soon
Yes.
and
And we
and
will be
see you.
live. Yes,
Hmm.
it will be live. It's actually going to be on pretty much, I think, all of the social media platforms, from
Wow.
Facebook. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on LinkedIn. It's going to be
Mhm.
on Instagram. So it is going to be live on all of those platforms beginning on the 9th. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm
That's
really
quite an
excited.
accomplishment. I mean, how
And
much energy
I
and
was
focus.
nervous. Yes, because I was like, "Oh my god, am I ready for this?" Like,
Yes, you're ready.
I'm like, I'm just starting. Like, am I ready
It's
for this?
okay.
And so the
You've been doing this
Dr.
for a while.
Cosette,
Hmm.
Dr. Cosette is the visionary behind this, and
Yeah.
she's a very successful business owner and published author herself. So for her to come to me and say, "Hey, I want to invite you to this collaboration," I'm like, and I looked at the email and I'm like, she sent that to the wrong person. And so I didn't reply to the email
Yep.
when she originally sent it to me. And then she emailed me again. I'm like, she has to just have me mixed up with somebody else. And so she inboxed me on Facebook and asked me that I received the email. And I was
Hmm.
like, so she did mean to send that to me. She
That's
did mean to
funny.
send that to me. It yes, and I was like, "Oh my god." And so she and I talked because I wasn't for sure, like, I can't do this. Like, who
Yeah.
am I to do this? And so she and I we talked on the phone and, went over everything and I was like, "Wow. Yeah, I want to do this." So, here we are.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get on the show today and we're able
I
to
am
talk about the
too.
summit that's coming up. It's really exciting.
Yes. And I was like, I thought that wasn't to I think, was it the 17th? And then I was like, you know what? It's perfect time to do it. We're going to do this. That be perfect timing to talk about the book and the summit that's coming up.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's been what, 2 years, 3 years that we originally met and we
Yeah.
discussed me being on one of your shows. So I'm just glad we got a chance to do it.
Yep.
Pretty awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And the next one is in a few weeks, and that's for my other
Yeah.
show, for the TV show.
Okay.
So thank you so
Awesome.
much for your support.
Awesome.
Really
Of
excited. Thank you.
course. Of course. Of course. And I'm glad I reached out to you
Mhm.
because I had thought about it and I was like, I think you had posted something. I was like, wait a minute, we never did do that. I said, so let me ask her about it because we never did do that. Because I
Yeah.
know I told you that I wanted to do it and I would do it. And so I wanted to make sure that we got it done. So I'm
Thank you.
glad to be here.
Yay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I guess
Very
I'll chat
welcome.
with you later. And thank you everyone
Awesome.
for tuning in. Until next time, talk to Susan is signing off. And we hope that you'll be able to make a difference in society, whatever you choose to pursue as your passion. Thank you so much.